Most of us grew up thinking progress is automatic, that if someone discovers something important, the world adopts it. But that's not actually how it works. A lot of discoveries don't disappear because they're wrong. They disappear because they threaten money. Over the years, different people found ways to make engines use far less fuel, ways to move energy without massive infrastructure, ways to look at health differently, ways to understand the brain and the body better. Not magic, not miracles, just different approaches. And what keeps showing up is that once their ideas started gaining attention, things got quiet. Funding stopped, projects stalled, reputations got attacked. Some of them died under strange circumstances. This video is a collection of people who all ran into the same wall, not because they were perfect, but because what they were working on didn't fit the business model. Nikola Tesla died alone, broke, and largely ignored, after creating technology that threatened how power itself made money. At the center of it was wireless electricity. Tesla wasn't just experimenting. He was building a system meant to transmit energy through the air, without wires, without meters. At first, powerful investors backed him, including J.P. Morgan. But there was a problem. Tesla openly believed electricity should be free and accessible, not owned, not metered, not charged per user. And according to historical accounts, once Morgan realized the system couldn't be easily controlled or monetized, funding stopped. The project collapsed. Tesla lost financial support, his work stalled, and his influence quietly faded. When Tesla died in 1943, government officials seized his remaining research. Some documents were later returned. Others never were. Today, Tesla is remembered as a visionary, but the question isn't whether his ideas worked. It's why the one idea that couldn't be built was the one that disappeared. In the 1970s, a man built an engine that reportedly drove over 100 kilometers on a single gallon of gasoline. Not electric, not experimental fuel, regular gasoline. The secret wasn't the fuel, it was how it was burned. Instead of injecting liquid gas, the engine vaporized it, allowing nearly complete combustion. Almost no wasted fuel. The engine was installed into a standard Ford V8. In 1977, independent tests reportedly showed fuel efficiency far beyond anything sold to the public. The inventor refused to sell the design to oil companies or major automakers. Soon after, funding vanished, media coverage disappeared, and in 1981, the inventor, Thomas Ogle, was found dead under suspicious circumstances. The engine was never mass-produced. The technology was labeled impractical. Yet decades later, no production car has matched its efficiency. In the 1990s, a man said he built an engine that ran on water, not electric, not experimental fuel, water. The idea wasn't burning water. It was splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen, then using that hydrogen to power the engine. He showed cars driving. He filed patents. He demonstrated the system publicly. He said the engine barely needed gasoline. When independent scientists tested it, they couldn't reproduce the results. Courts later ruled there was no proof the technology worked the way he claimed. Funding stopped. The project collapsed. And in 1998, after a business meeting, the inventor suddenly died. Some people think he discovered something that didn't fit the system. Others think the engine never worked at all. Either way, an engine that promised freedom from fuel didn't survive long enough to be proven. In the 1930s, one man claimed disease could be destroyed, not with drugs, but with frequency. Raymond Rife believed every virus and bacteria had a specific resonance, match the frequency, and the organism would break apart. He built advanced microscopes. He demonstrated treatments, and early reports claimed patients improved without surgery or medication, but this challenged the direction medicine was taking. Drug-based treatment scaled. Frequency-based treatment didn't. Rife was taken to court. His equipment was seized. His work was discredited, and his supporters disappeared. By the end of his life, he was broke, isolated, and written off. Officially, his death was blamed on poor health. Unofficially, his work was erased. No proof he was murdered. No proof he was right. But the real question isn't whether his machine worked. It's why an entire field vanished, and why no one was allowed to continue it. In the 1980s, a Mexican neuroscientist named Jacob Grinberg Zilberbaum was studying something most scientists avoided: human consciousness. He wasn't guessing. He ran brainwave experiments, EEG studies, and psychological tests at Mexico's top universities. Grinberg believed the brain doesn't just observe reality, it organizes it. That perception itself might be shaped by an underlying informational structure. To test this, he studied monks, meditators, and indigenous shamans, not spiritually but scientifically. He published books, peer-reviewed papers, and taught at major institutions. Then in 1994, he vanished. No struggle, no body, no explanation. His work wasn't banned. His books weren't erased. But the man behind them was gone. And the mystery isn't that he knew too much. It's that a respected scientist disappeared, and no one ever figured out why. In the early 2000s, a man discovered patterns in metabolism that most doctors weren't taught. Not a supplement, not a miracle pill. Patterns. Dr. Frank Suárez studied how the body's metabolism controls weight, energy, hormones, sleep, and even anxiety. He noticed something strange. Two people could eat the same food, exercise the same way, and have completely different results. Why? Because their nervous systems and metabolic types were different. He identified fast and slow metabolism types. He explained how stress hormones, thyroid function, and blood sugar stability quietly control fat storage. Simple ideas, but powerful. He taught that obesity wasn't just about willpower. It was about biochemistry. Millions followed his work. Millions changed their health. Then in 2021, Dr. Frank Suárez was found dead. Authorities ruled it a suicide. No note, no warning, no known depression. And people started asking questions, because his message threatened something big. If metabolism is fixable, then lifelong dependence on medications starts to collapse. No proof of foul play, no proof of conspiracy, just a man who taught millions how their bodies actually work, and then suddenly disappeared. The question isn't, did he discover a secret? The question is, why are simple, effective health truths always the most resisted? In 1913, a poor clerk in India mailed a notebook filled with equations to a professor in England. No formal training, no university degree, no proof. Just pages of mathematics no one had seen before. Inside those pages were formulas so advanced, modern computers are still proving them today. The professor thought it was a prank. Then he realized something terrifying. The writer wasn't copying anyone. He was discovering mathematics the way artists paint. The man's name was Srinivasa Ramanujan. He claimed many formulas came to him in dreams, not guesses, not approximations, finished equations. He was brought to Cambridge. Within a few years, he produced thousands of original results in number theory, infinite series, and mathematical patterns. Many of them were decades ahead of their time, but his health collapsed. Poverty, malnutrition, illness. In 1920, Ramanujan died at just 32 years old. He left behind notebooks that mathematicians are still decoding over 100 years later. Not because he was mystical, not because he was supernatural, but because the human mind, under the right conditions, can reach levels we still don't understand. In the 1920s, a German scientist named Otto Warburg made a discovery that challenged how we understand cancer. He found that healthy cells use oxygen to produce energy, but cancer cells don't. Even when oxygen is present, cancer cells rely on fermentation. Basically, they behave like they're suffocating. Warburg believed cancer begins as a metabolic disease, not just a genetic one, meaning damage the cell's energy system first, and cancer follows. His work won him a Nobel Prize. But modern medicine focused mostly on genetics instead. Today, Warburg's ideas are quietly resurfacing in cancer metabolism research. So the question isn't, was Warburg wrong? The question is, Why was his explanation sidelined for so long? In the early 2000s, a world-famous computer scientist named Jim Gray claimed he had created new ways to organize and process massive amounts of data. Not just faster databases, not just better storage, but systems that could fundamentally change how computers understand information. He helped build technology used by Microsoft, NASA, and major research labs. His work shaped modern cloud computing before the term even existed. Then, in 2007, Jim Gray went sailing alone off the coast of California. His boat was later found. He was never seen again. No distress signal, no wreckage, no body, despite one of the largest search operations in U.S. history. Officially, it was ruled an accident. But here's what makes people uneasy. Gray was actively working on projects involving global-scale data intelligence and advanced computational modeling, the kind of systems that could reshape finance, science, and artificial intelligence. And then he vanished. No public explanation, no recovered evidence. Just silence. So the question isn't whether Jim Gray invented powerful computer systems. That's documented. The real question is, how does one of the most important minds in computing history simply disappear? This man discovered a way to create energy by copying how nature moves, and then he was erased. Viktor Schauberger wasn't a university scientist. He was a forest ranger, someone who spent years watching rivers. And he noticed something strange. Water doesn't travel in straight lines. It spirals. It folds inward. It tightens itself. And when it does that, it gains power. He realized energy isn't created by burning. It's created by motion. So he built spinning machines that mimicked natural vortices. No fuel, no explosions, just rotation. Some of his devices reportedly produced lift. Others spun faster as they cooled, which breaks modern physics. If true, energy wouldn't need to be mined, sold, metered, controlled. After this, his funding vanished, his work was seized, his blueprints disappeared, not because they failed, but because they threatened the entire energy model. And here's the uncomfortable part. Civilizations don't collapse from lack of technology. They collapse when new technology removes control.